Today I'm going to share with you Photoshop's most powerful engine when it comes to color grading and an easy two-step approach to make any image pop. We'll go easy on the first one with a little more extra stuff on the second example. So without any further ado, let's get started. Back in the magical world of Photoshop, and if you wish to go ahead and download any of the photos and follow along, you know what to do. Check the links in the description. The very first thing we would do is select the background layer and then press Ctrl or Command J to make a duplicate. We always want to have a backup. Then let's go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filter, so that whatever we apply, we can change the values later. And obviously the most powerful engine when it comes to color grading is not curves, but the Camera Raw filter. As much as I love curves, this is more powerful. Go to Filter and then Camera Raw filter. The very first thing we can do to make our subject stand out is to brighten the subject and darken the background. Super easy to do. Simply go to the masking section here, click on Select Subject. That's all. It automatically selects the subject. Let's scroll down and increase the exposure by using this slider. At about 0.6 works for this image. Also, to add more contrast, since there are shadows and darker areas that have become faded, we can scroll down and just decrease the blacks. Let's take the slider to the left. At about 36 should do the job. Now that the subject is brighter, to make the contrast even stronger, what do? Darken the background. So let's click on Create New Mask. This time, select background. It automatically selects the background. Scroll down and this time simply decrease the opacity. Let's take it to the left and this looks so much better. And just by doing that, here's the before, here's the after. Massive difference. By the way, we pressed P to look at the before and after inside of Camera Raw. So this was the first step, making the subject brighter and the background darker. Clear so far? Now let's add some color to it. Let's go back to the edit section and simply scroll down to color grading. There's actually a section for that. If it's not already open, click on it to open that up. Now we can choose whatever color we want for highlights, midtones, and shadows. So let's start with the highlights. The easiest way to approach it is this. Take the circle in the middle, bring it a little bit on the outside. This will give you a sense of what color the highlight's being colored in. Now use the ring on the outer end to just move it around to see which color you like. I don't like any of these colors, so maybe I'm gonna stop around yellow where it starts to look good. Now you can hover over this circle in the middle which controls the amount of color, and as you move this, if you hold the Shift key, it will move in that line without changing that color. So more of that color, less of that color. You choose how much of it you want. So I'm going to keep it right about there. Looks pretty good. And these sliders at the bottom, they control how bright or dark you want that section to be. This is for the highlights, right? So how bright or dark you want the highlights to be, you select that with this slider. So let's make it actually brighter. I would keep it at about 27. That looks nice. Now let's get to the midtones. Again, we'll do the same thing. We'll move this circle a little bit outward to see what color we want in the midtones. Go around the circle, stop at what you like. So maybe a little bit red, but not that much. So we will take it a little bit on the inside. And to make sure that you don't accidentally move this circle, you can always hold the Shift key and then do those changes. And then you control if you want it to be darker or brighter, totally up to you. Maybe I'm going to leave it as it is. Now let's talk about the shadows, and this is where we can do the twist with the colors. Let's bring it out, move it around, see what we like. I like the purple, I like the blues as well, green not so much, obviously not red. So let's keep it right about there. And how much of it you want, you can control right there. And then again, of course, how bright or dark you want the shadows to be. So let's use this slider, take it to the right and left to see what we like. So actually, a little bit darker is okay, and this looks fantastic. On top of that, if you wanted to make slighter adjustments where Camera Raw has the edge, of course you can. Let's scroll up to color. I feel that this is a bit more magenta-ish, so I'm gonna go to tint and maybe take it a little bit to the left to add more green and decrease magenta. -14 is fine, and of course you can control the temperature here. Maybe +1 is more than enough. So those were the two basic steps, making the subject brighter and the background darker, and step number 2, adding the color in. Now it's not complete. There are lots of awesome things we can do. For example, if you go to the preset section and find adaptive portrait, just simply open that up, and inside of that you'll have enhance eyes, whiten teeth, lots of amazing things. Let's select whiten teeth. It automatically does it. Here's without it, here's with it. So I'm going to increase it all the way to 155. That works. You can also darken eyebrows. Let's click on that. Enhance eyes if you want that. Let's click on that as well. And these one-click little changes go a long way. Hit OK once you're satisfied here. In the background, you notice that the sky is a bit darker than the edges of the subject. It cannot be because the source of light is in the sky. So let's select the subject by using any of these three tools, and at the top, you would notice the Select Subject button. Simply click on that. It does a fantastic job. And with the selection active, we want to affect the background, right? So let's invert the selection by pressing Ctrl-Shift-I, Command-Shift-I on a Mac. And then create a curves adjustment layer. Click on the adjustment layer icon and then choose curves. And we will just make the bright areas brighter by taking the slider on the right to the left like so. But we did not want to affect the ground here, only the sky. We have already created a mask here. We don't want to disturb the mask. So how do we use double masking? Simply select the curves adjustment layer and just that one layer only. Then press Ctrl or Command G to group just that one layer. Then create a mask of that group. Now you have two masks for the same layer. Then you can select the gradient tool right here and pick a gradient from white to black or black to white. And then just make a gradient like so. We want to make sure it's a linear gradient. So let's pick linear gradient like so. You can see the mask here. It's only limited to the top area. There you go. That way, only the sky is bright and it matches with that of the subject. Now to make it even better, you can also add a light leak. Let's create a new layer on top. With the same gradient tool selected, let's create a radial gradient. Click on the radial gradient at the top and let's make a gradient like so. Just focus on what colors we want here. For the bright color, simply double click here. We want a bright yellow color like so. Maybe a little bit more yellow. Hit OK once you're satisfied. Then we want the color it fades to. For that here, double click on it. Let's choose red color or orange color. Hit OK. Now as it gets to orange, we want it to fade. We want it to become transparent. So on the orange side in the properties section, if you cannot see the properties dialog box, simply go to window and you want to make sure properties is checked. In the properties panel, on the right hand side, the same side where the orange is, you select that side and set the opacity controls opacity of that side to 0. How fantastic is that? Now also this is a light leak. It's only going to make things brighter. And what is the blend mode that makes things brighter? Screen. So simply change the blend mode from normal to screen and it does the job. And then you can move it however you want. This is a wonderful, wonderful light leak. Looks good. But we didn't want it so much on the subject. So let's mask it out. We already have a mask for that. If we were to open the same group that we created just a while ago, it has that mask. See the advantage of not painting over that mask. Hold the Alt key, the Option key, click and drag the mask and drop it right there. Replace it? Yes, the light leak is not affecting the subject, but it needs to be there a little bit on the subject. And for it, simply select the mask. You want to make sure mask is selected. And then in the properties, you'll see two sliders, density and feather. Density is like opacity for the mask. If density was 0, it would be like there was no mask. So let's increase the density. So I'm going to keep it at about 74. This is a nice number to be at. Look how incredible this looks. Here is the overall before and here is the after. And this is never ending. You can add some grain, you can add some more contrast. For example, if you want more dark areas, you can add a curves on top of that by clicking on the adjustment layer icon, then choosing curves, and then taking the slider on the left to the right slightly just to add a little bit more contrast, and you just have to know when to stop. Now let's move to our next example where we do an absolutely cinematic and stylized color grade. There is no formula here. You're the artist and you pick what looks good to you. First of all, as usual, with the background layer selected, press Ctrl or Command J to make a duplicate. Then go to Filter, Convert for Smart Filter so we can change the values later. Go to Filter again, Camera, Raw, Filter. The very first step is pretty simple. I told you about this. Go to the masking, select the subject, and just make the subject a bit brighter. So I'm going to probably go 0.4. This does the job. Then create a new mask, select the background, and just darken the background. Scroll down, exposure, let's take it to the left hand side. Not too dark, maybe minus 0.2 works. We'll get to minor adjustments later. Now let's get to adding the color. Inside of the edit section, Simply scroll down to the color grading area and let's pick the color for the highlights. Obviously, you can move around as much as you like. In this case, instead of choosing yellow, let's pick something different. A more greenish color. I want to create that cool, dark look. And then you can of course choose how much you want. Let's start with something small. 53 is fine. Now about the midtones, this is where we can add some drama. Let's make it a bit more bluish. And of course, you can make it darker if you wish to. So also we need to pick a bluish color, but can be a bit different. That's absolutely fine. And this is definitely way too bright. So we can take the slider a bit to the left, actually a little more. This looks good. So this is a cooler look that I'm going for, but the colors are not blending well. And this is where the blending sliders come in. If you take it all the way to the left, all the colors are just haywire. But if you take it all the way to the right, things seem to blend well. But we don't need to blend it so well, just a little bit is fine. We can also choose the balance of how much of the highlight colors or the shadow color will be here. So this is more yellow heavy and this is more blue heavy. In the middle is fine because we are going to add more drama with curves. We don't have to get to Photoshop, we can do it directly inside of Camera Raw. Let's scroll up. Inside of the curves section, if you cannot see it, simply click on it to open that up. You have many channels, just as you have in Photoshop. You have the RGB channel, red, green, and blue channel separately as well. If you want yellow in the highlights, what do? We simply decrease the blues. Why? RGB, red, green, blue, is the opposite of CMY. Cyan, magenta, yellow. So let's bring up a little bit of the yellow in the highlights. This is nice, it's getting there, but we want to create a dark faded effect. Let's get back to the RGB channel and make it darker, like so. This is nice, even more darker. And to add that faded effect, take the leftmost point, which is the darkest area, and bring it up. You see that? See the magic we are creating there? Of course, you can adjust it to your liking. I'm going to keep it this way, but still the cinematic feel is not coming in. This is where the minor adjustments come in. Let's adjust the subject and the background separately. We already had masked them out. Go to the masking section and select the mask for the subject. This is the mask. Subject is white. That is the area targeted. Let's scroll down. Let's try to play with highlights. So if we take it to the left, see more details coming in, so we can play with that later. Also shadows, we can bring it a little more to the left to add more depth. Now, of course, we can do some color adjustments here too. So let's scroll down, and in the newer version of Camera Raw, which is 18.3.2 and above, you have color grading section for the mask. If you scroll down, you have the same 3 sections for highlights, shadows, and midtones. So in here, let's add a bit of yellow and warmth. See what's happening there? It's amazing. And now we're gonna make it brighter. See that drama that we are adding there? Not too much, we need to be a bit controlled. Similarly with midtones and shadows, if you feel you need to add a bit of warmth, that can be done. Maybe we make it brighter or darker, totally up to you. I'm just making a very minor change there. Same with the shadows, just a bit of warmth, but not that much color. Let's also take it to the left to make it slightly darker. Now it is time for us to adjust the background, and this is where we can go absolutely wild. Select the background mask, scroll down. Similarly, you can make changes to highlights. Let's make it darker, actually. Maybe all the way to the left so we can have more details there. And now let's get to color grading, where the fun part happens. Before even choosing the colors, you can make things brighter or darker. So I'm going to make the highlights a bit brighter. Midtones, let's make the midtones a bit darker. And also the shadows, so the subject stands out. And then you can pick whatever color you want. Let's give the highlights a greenish color, why not? And to make the background a bit warmer, let's get midtones a warmer color. Like that. That just suits so well. And similarly for the shadows, since they were bluish, darker, let's give it a slight bluish color. Not that much. We are not even close to being done. You can adjust the color temperature of just the background or the subject as well. You'll see the color tab once you have the background mask selected. Let's increase the temperature. Now it's starting to look good. Probably at about 20. Now since the background is becoming more greenish, let's take it away from the green and give it a bit more warmer color. Like so, maybe 38 works. Now let's do some overall adjustments to bring about that punch. Let's go to the edit section and scroll up to the light section. If it's not open, open it. And of course you can play with contrast, highlights, Maybe I'm going to decrease the highlights to have more details somewhere here. But then again, to bring the punch back, increase the whites, but not too much to lose details. So you can always hold the Alt key or the Option key, and just at the moment you begin to lose details, you can stop right about there. You can obviously control the entire image warmth inside of the color section of the edit section. So let's increase the warmth. See, it adds that wonderful light. So I'm going to go with not that high. Maybe 6 is nice. Now this adds a wonderful punch. Now to give this that old film look, let us take away the saturation. It doesn't need to be so saturated. So let's decrease it to about -22. And then you can add that grain that absolutely makes all that difference. Scroll down inside of the effects section, you'll see grain. By the way, if you don't see the extra settings, click on that arrow, you'll see more options. Let's increase it. You can increase the size of the grain. See what it does? As we increase the size of the grain, it blurs the image as well. It alters the image in the same way. So let's keep it right about 50. You can change the roughness as well. And grain amount. Let's zoom out. This looks good. Maybe at about 30, 50, 58. Now to hit the nail on the head, we need to add a vignette, but a special kind of vignette. Scroll up in the vignette sections. Again, open this arrow up. Let's take it all the way to the left-hand side. We want to add a hard old photo vignette. For that, decrease the feather all the way to the left, and then let's control the midpoint. That's not doing it. Actually, the roundness. Yes, that is the setting. Now let's control it in a way that looks like the old photo. Pretty good. And then control the feather. Add a bit of feather. Now that's doing the talking. Look at this marvelous edit. At this point, I would recommend that you take a break, look at something else, maybe look out the balcony, outside the garden, whatever, and then get back to it. Probably go to the blue channel and see what happens if we add more yellow. Actually, that looks slightly better. Hit OK once you're satisfied and you're good to go. You can add as many adjustments on top of it as you like, but I will probably stop here. Before, after. So there are no rules to the game. There are just guidelines and rules for you to break. So feel free to break the rules. Learn the approach, make the subject stand out step 1, and add color step 2. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to give us a like, and also don't forget to subscribe, and not just subscribe. Ring the bell so that you, my friend, don't miss any other future tips, tricks, or tutorials. I'll see you in my next one. Till then, stay tuned and make sure that you keep creating.